Literature. Literature is a wide term that refers to any collection of written material, but it is often used to describe works considered to be art forms, such as prose fiction, drama, and poetry. The term has broadened in recent decades to include oral literature, most of which has been recorded, and these are the artists who have made significant contributions to our country's literature.
First is Francisco Arceliano, writer, poet, essayist, critic, journalist, and teacher. Is one of the most important progenitors of the modern Filipino short story in English. He pioneered the development of short story as a lyrical prose poetic form. For Arceliano, the pride of fiction is that it is able to render truth that is able to present reality. Arceliana kept alive the experimental tradition in fiction and had been most daring in exploring new literary forms to express the sensibility of the Filipino people. A brilliant craftsman, his works are now an indispensable part of tertiary level syllabi all over the country.
Cyril E. Bautista is a poet, fictionist, and essayist with exceptional achievement and significant contributors to the development of the country's literary arts. He is acknowledged by peers and critics and the nation at large as the foremost writer of his generation.
Virgilio is Almario, also known as Rio Alma, is a poet, literary historian, and critic who has revived and reinvented traditional Filipino poetic forms, even as it championed modernist poetics. In 34 years, he has published 12 books of poetry, which include the seminal Maquinacion and Peregrinacion, and the landmark trilogy of Doktrinang Anak Pawis, Mga Retrato at Recuerdo and Muli, sa Kandungan ng Lupa. In these works, his poetic voice is carried from the lyrical to the satirical to the epic, from the dramatic to the incantatory, in his often severe examination of the self and the society.
Nestor Vicente Madali Gonzalez, better known as NVM Gonzalez, fictionist, essayist, poet, and teacher, articulated the Filipino spirit in rural-urban landscapes. Among the many recognitions, he won the first Commonwealth Literary Contest in 1940, received the Republic Cultural Heritage Award in 1960, and the Gawad CCP para sa Sining in 1990. The awards at least his triumph in appropriating the English language to express, reflect, and shape Philippine culture and Philippine sensibility. He became UP's International Write-In Residence and a member of the Board of Advisors of the UP Creative Writing Center. In 1987, UP conferred on him the Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, its highest academic recognition.
Nick Joaquin. Nick Joaquin is regarded by many as the most distinguished Filipino writer in English, writing so variedly and so well about so many aspects of the Filipino. Nick Joaquin has also enriched the English language with critics coining Joaquinesque to describe his Baroque Spanish-flavored English or his reinventions of English based on Philippinisms. Nick Joaquin has written plays, novels, poems, short stories, and essays, including reportage and journalism. As a journalist, Nick Joaquin uses the nom de plume Quijano de Manila, but whether he is writing literature or journalism, fellow national artist Francisco Arceliana opines that it is always of the highest skill and quality.
Amando V. Hernandez, poet, playwright, and novelist, is among the Filipino writers who practiced committed art. In his view, the function of the writer is to act as the conscience of society and to affirm the greatness of the human spirit in the face of inequity and oppression. Hernandez's contribution to the development of Tagalog prose is considerable. He stripped Tagalog of its ornate character and wrote in prose closer to the colloquial than the official style permitted. His novel Mga Ibong Mandaragit, first written by Hernandez while in prison, is the first Filipino social-political novel that exposes the ills of the society as evident in the agrarian problems of the 50s.
Bienvenido Lumbera. As a poet, he introduced the Tagalog literature, what is now known as Bagay poetry, a landmark aesthetic tendency that has helped to change the vernacular poetic tradition. As a librist for the tales of the Manubo and Ramahari, he pioneered the creative fusion of fine arts and popular imagination.
Efshine Jose writings in the late 60s, when taken collectively, can best be described as epic. Its sheer volume puts him on the forefront of Philippine writing in English, but ultimately it is the consistent disposal of the aspirations of the Filipino for national sovereignty and social justice that guarantees the value of his obra. Efshine Jose is also a publisher, lecturer on cultural issues, and the founder of the Philippine chapter of the international organization PEN. He was bestowed the CCP Centennial Honors for the Arts in 1999, the Outstanding Fulbrighters Award for Literature in 1988, and the Ramon Magsaysay Award for Journalism, Literature, and Creative Communication Arts in 1980.
Carlos P. Romulo. Essentially, though Romulo was very much into writing, he was a reporter at 16, a newspaper editor by the age of 20, and a publisher at 32. He was the only Asian to win America's coveted Pulitzer Prize in Journalism for a series of articles predicting the outbreak of World War II. Romulo in all wrote and published 18 books, a range of literary works, which include The United, I Walk with Heroes, I Saw the Fall of the Philippines, Mother America, I See the Philippines Rise.
Alejandro R. Rosas. Alejandro Rosas is a short story writer and essayist and considered as the country's best writer comic short stories. He is known for his widely anthologized My Brother's Peculiar Chicken. In his innumerable newspaper columns, he has always focused on the neglected aspects of the Filipino cultural heritage. His works have been published in various international magazines and have received national and international awards.
Jose Garcia Villa. Villa, who lived in Singalong, Manila, introduced the reverse consonants rhyme scheme, including the comma poems that made full of use of punctuation mark in an innovative, poetic way. The first of his poems, Have Come, I'm Here, received critical recognition when it appeared in New York in 1942. That soon enough, honors and fellowship were held on him.
Edith El Tiempo, a poet, fictionist, teacher, and literary critic. Edith El Tiempo is one of the finest Filipino writers in English. Her works are characterized by a remarkable fusion of style and substance of craftsmanship and insight. As fictionist, Tiempo is as morally profound. Her language has been marked as descriptive but unburdened by scrupulous detailing. She is influential tradition in Philippine literature in English. Together with her late husband, Edilberto K. Tiempo, she founded and directed the Suleiman National Writers Workshop in Dumaguete City, which has produced some of the country's best writers.
Ramon Mozones was a Hiligaynon poet, essayist, short story writer, critic, grammarian, editor, lexicographer, and novelist who authored an unprecedented 61 completed novels. A number of these represent groundbreaking first in Hiligaynon literature such as the feminist Ang Bagong Maria Clara, the Roman Aclip Maambong nga Sakat, or the Magnificent Brute in 1940, the comic Si Tablot, 1946, the political satirical Si Tablot Candidato Man, or the Tablot is also a candidate in 1949, the 125 installment longest serialized novel Dama di Noche from 1982 to 1984, and etc. Held by his peers as the longest reigning from 1938 to 1972 among the three kings of the Hiligaynon novel. Musones brought about its most radical changes while ushering modernism. With a literary career that spanned 53 years from 1938 to 1990, his evolution covers the whole history of the Hiligaynon novel from its rise in the 1940s to its decline in 1970s.
Lazaro Francisco developed the social realist tradition in Philippine fiction. His 11 novels, now acknowledged classics of Philippine literature, embodies the author's commitment to nationalism. Francisco gained prominence as a writer not only for his social conscience, but also for his masterful handling of the Tagalog language and supple prose style. His reputation as the master of the Tagalog novel is backed up by numerous awards he received for his meritorious novels in particular and for his contribution to Philippine literature and culture in general. Ercil Mojares, a teacher and scholar, essayist and fictionist, and cultural and literary historian. Ercil Mojares is acknowledged as leading figure in the promotion of regional literature and history. As founding director of the Cebuano Study Center, an important research institution which placed Cebu the research and documentation map. He pioneered Cebuano and national identity formation. As a leading figure in cultural and literary history, the network actively in many organizations.